Yo, how's it going, NBA fans? It's your boy, Mike here, and I have a trade hypothetical video for you today. I said that backwards, but you know what I'm talking about. Hypothetical trade video coming at you. Now, about a week, 2 weeks ago, I made a video about the potential of Kyle Lowry getting traded to the Clippers, and in that video, I said that I didn't think he was going to go to the Sixers, even though they have interest for him, because I don't think that the Sixers are willing to spend enough to get Kyle Lowry, because my original prediction, as of then, was that Kyle Lowry would cost something along the lines of Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, and Tyrese Maxey, and then multiple picks. Alright, that was my belief of Kyle Lowry's value. But since that video, I have been told by everyone and their freaking mother that I am crazy if I think Kyle Lowry is worth that much, and that the Sixers can absolutely afford him. And even though I was a little skeptical at first, looking back at trades for guys like Mike Conley, for guys like Russell Westbrook even recently for John Wall, for guys like Chris Paul to get to the Suns from the Thunder, I'm starting to think that those people might be right. I may have really been overestimating the value of Kyle Lowry. Now let me point out why here, okay? Kyle Lowry is averaging 18, 7, and 5 right now, on 46% from the field and 40% from 3. The man is playing fantastic basketball. He's somewhere between the best and the third best player on the Raptors, as the top three there are very close with Lowry, Van Fleet, and Pascal Siakam. And Lowry has also been shooting 38% from 3 on 7 attempts a game over the last 6 seasons. Those are his averages. So I believe that Lowry is a very, very valuable player. Alright, he was not an all-star this year, but he has been an all-star for, I believe, the last 5 to 6 seasons before this year, and deservingly so. So now you may be asking yourself, as I was about 2 weeks ago when people started telling me that I was crazy and that the Sixers could get Lowry, how is it that the Sixers can afford Lowry? Well, there's multiple reasons, actually, that put the Sixers very much in a great position to get Kyle Lowry. First of all, the man is on an expiring contract, and he is old. This is the last year of his $30 million a year deal, and he is 34 years old. That is the end of most players' primes. In fact, it is past the prime of most players, and I don't think it's unfair to say that Kyle Lowry is currently past his prime. He is declining, and he's going to continue declining from here on out. So whoever trades for him is now going to have a player who may not re-sign, who is very expensive, and who is getting older every year. So why would the Sixers be any different in this situation? Well, first of all, Kyle Lowry has been rather slow in his decline so far. Obviously, if we get him, it is still a risk, because when players get around the age of 34, 35, they do tend to fall off rather fast. For example, take LaMarcus Aldridge, who I said in my Spurs video was one of the better players on the Spurs, because last year he was the second best player on the Spurs. This year, the man has fallen off a cliff at the age of 35. He has gone so very far downhill, gotten so much worse. It's crazy. Kyle Lowry is in danger of doing the same thing. However, considering that he has been very healthy throughout his career, I believe that Lowry could be able to have a rather slow decline and continue to play as a legitimate starting contributor for the next several years. So he could come to the Sixers, and we could end up giving him a smaller contract, something I'm thinking somewhere between around $12 million a year is probably my guess, maybe as high as 15, but my guess would be somewhere between 10 and 15 million, around 12 or 13 a year. Seems like a good amount for Lowry, but you are still running the risk of trading too much for him. Well, part of that is his contract being very expensive, like I said, $30 million. The Sixers, however, happen to have a massive trade exception right now on the books that I wasn't even aware of until I started hearing people talk about it a few days ago. The Sixers have a very large trade exception, which means they don't need to come close to matching Lowry's contract. In fact, I believe they can be about $10 million short and still get him. This is fantastic news for Philly. This means that they don't need to give up a whole bunch of players in order to match the salary or involve a third team. They can just match like a half to 2/3 of Kyle Lowry's salary and be totally fine in this trade. Once again, however, you're asking yourself, when you get a player on an expiring contract like this, is he even going to resign? Because you're always running the risk of guys resigning. Look at Victor Oladipo right now. The Houston Rockets got him, and there's already rumors that he doesn't want to stay there, that he wants to sign with the Heat. Well, Kyle Lowry, wouldn't you know it, is from Philly, and he has now said himself that if he does get traded, he would like to be traded to his hometown of Philadelphia. It is a perfect spot for him to become basically the fourth option on the team now on offense behind Harris, Simmons, and Embiid, and he's a fantastic fit. He is another very, very good playmaker and ball handler behind Ben Simmons. We now have our backup point guard when Simmons is off the floor. You can always have two elite playmakers out there. Yes, Shake Milton is very good. I love Shake Milton, but the guy's a score-first player. Alright, Shake Milton's very good, but he is a score-first player. Kyle Lowry can hit threes, he can score in multiple ways, even though it's not his primary function. He can be a fantastic fourth option on a team, which then turns Seth Curry and Shake Milton into the fifth and sixth options. Once again, very, very good lower options in the scoring department. I mentioned his playmaking, which is great. His shooting has been very good lately. His defense is kind of underrated. The man is not some lockdown defender, but he is a good high IQ defender. He gets a lot of charges that frustrate the other players, lead to techs. The man is very frustrating to play against. It's a reason I'm not a big fan of him while he's been on the Raptors, but I gotta say, I'd love to have him on the Sixers. He is a veteran presence for the team, he knows about winning, he's just a perfect fit for this team, honestly. If we got Kyle Lowry, he instantly fixes every single issue with the Sixers, except for the fact that they still need a better backup power forward. The backup power forward, it's a little bit sus, and we're gonna really need to fix that this year, but Kyle Lowry would fix so much stuff. But now it gets down into how much would he cost? Even with the trade exception being lowered, you're still going to have to reach his value, and Raptors reports have said that they would want veterans, they would want picks, and they would want a young player in return for Lowry. Now, my issue previously was that I do not want to give up Shake Milton for Lowry. I do not want to give up Matisse Thybulle for Lowry, and I'd really prefer to not give up Tyrese Maxey for Kyle Lowry. The man's very good, but I really like those young players, and they're just fantastic. It's fantastic to have young players on the books for low contracts right now, especially considering Philly's cap situation is kinda sus, to say the least. Embiid, Simmons, and Harris are all on basically max contracts. They're making so much goddamn money. The Sixers cap is hell right now, okay? The only team that's like way worse is probably the Warriors, because holy crap are the Warriors in a terrible cap situation. But you can kind of help out two issues at once with this. First of all, when you get Lowry off the books, and assuming you re-sign him next season, like I said, much smaller contract, probably around $12 million would be my guess. Well, $12 million for Kyle Lowry suddenly leaves about a $15 million opening in the cap that the Sixers did not have before, which they can use to sign some other free agent to be a very good bench player. Also, when they're trading for Lowry, alright, he wouldn't cost that much. We give them Danny Green, obviously, because he's on a large expiring contract. He's just the main trade piece. I like Danny Green, but giving him up for Kyle Lowry is not a question in my mind. I'm willing to give them either Isaiah Joe or Furkan Korkmaz. I would really prefer to not give them both, okay? And that means we don't have to give up Maxey, Shake, or Thybulle. And I originally thought we would have to give up one of those guys for Lowry, but everything I'm being told by my fellow Sixers fans is that they would be willing to trade for just Isaiah Joe or Korkmaz, and they wouldn't require some of the other guys. So why is this? Well, it's because the Sixers have a hell of a lot of picks right now. They have all their own picks, and they have quite a few picks from other teams. So what we would do instead of giving up more of our current young guys is we give them this year's first round pick, which is going to be very low in the draft because the Sixers are doing well. We give them a future second, and we give them another future first. So for Kyle Lowry, the Raptors get Danny Green, Furkan Korkmaz or Isaiah Joe, probably another guy like Mike Scott or Tony Bradley. Tony Bradley might actually be my guess because they could really use another backup center in there since Aaron Baines has been so terrible. And they get 2 first-round picks, admittedly late first-round picks, and a second-round pick. That is a pretty good haul for Kyle Lowry, and I think that is a very good deal for both teams. I just think that helps out both sides here. The Raptors get picks, they get a guy in Danny Green who can help them a little bit right now, they get a guy with Isaiah Joe or Korkmaz who can shoot off the bench, and the Sixers get a dude who instantly makes them the undisputed best team in the East, and I would say the undisputed second best team in the league, or third, depending on how high you are on the Clippers. Kyle Lowry gives the team much better offense, which has been a little bit of a struggle this year, and he doesn't hurt you on defense. I honestly can't think of a better trade. I feel kind of dumb for being against this trade a few months ago. I would absolutely freaking love for the Sixers to trade for Kyle Lowry in the coming weeks. I really hope this happens, and you know what? If anyone can get it done, it's Daryl freaking Morey. The man has not done us wrong yet, and I trust Daryl Morey to do what is best for the team and get us Kyle Lowry for a good deal. That is my video for today, y'all. Thank you all for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.